Hello everyone and welcome to Campus Channel. I'm here with Centrale Supelec and McGill University, the Faculty of Engineering, and we're here to talk about a very special program. It started in September 2023. It's called Bachelor of Global Engineering. And in order to talk about it, I have the pleasure to welcome three guests of honor. The first one, the Director of Undergraduate Programs, Claire Dickinson, and one of the students, Jana Alamedine. She is a cohort representative, a first-year student, and one of a lecturer, a mathematics lecturer. He's called Brice Anebik. The three of them are here to talk and answer my questions, but first, let's start with the pitch. So the pitch, Claire, it's going to be roughly 60 seconds, and you're going to have to tell us things that we need to know about the Bachelor. Are you ready?
Yes.
Then we're starting.
Okay, so this is a joint 4 years bachelor's degree that combines the strength of two top-notch universities and brings together two traditions, the European engineering tradition and the North American one. The first 2 years take place in Centrale Supelec's Paris-Saclay campus, where the students experience the breadth of the French educational engineering programs. They receive a very rigorous grounding in the full range of scientific disciplines. That's followed by 2 years at McGill's Faculty of Engineering, where they delve into the depths of the specialization in the North American tradition. So they have the choice of one of 9 streams in engineering. In addition to that very rigorous scientific background that they receive, there's also a big focus on soft skills, on professional skills, and on international awareness.
All right, well, soft skills and hard skills are going to be our first questions, but let's start with the admissions first. So Claire, what kind of soft skills and hard skills are you looking for in your students?
We're looking for students who are really planning on having an international career path, and therefore we're working on things like critical thinking. We have courses in, alongside the scientific courses, there are also courses in geopolitics, but also critical thinking, philosophy, languages. So we're looking for students who are able to work in various different environments. On top of that, we're also looking for students who want to work in a collaborative environment rather than well, competitive at the same time, but collaborative in that they'll be working on project management, learning how to work together, and not simply aiming to be top in a given ranking.
All right, Jana, what was your academic background before you studied? What kind of student were you? Were you like specifically like, you know, very skilled and with really high mark students, or?
Personally, I've done my, I used to live in Lebanon, so I've done my middle school in Lebanon, and then I have done my high school in a normal high school in my city, and I had pretty good grades, yes, but that's
all right. So, and what made you choose this program?
I chose this program especially because of the global aspect of this program. I didn't know what I want to do exactly, so the fact that we have a lot of subjects or fields, chemistry, physics, math, it makes me able to choose what I really want to do in 2 years. So this is something that I really liked in this bachelor.
So we're talking about scientific background, I guess, and since you're a mathematics lecturer, how do you ensure that the level of science is good enough during the admission process with your students?
So during the admission process, which is a very rigorous process, we have them submit the grades in high school and submit also a personal statement. And once we deem their marks good enough, we screen them through interviews afterwards, where we see whether or not they are really interested by those global questions, as Claire mentioned earlier. We're really looking for well-rounded individuals, be it on the team aspect, and also for the rigorous aspect that science could bring as well.
And how do you compare grades from, I don't know, you know, in France we had different high schools. Some have like were very famous and some were not so famous. And how do you compare, I don't know, like two very good grades, but from two different high schools?
This is a really good question. What we try to do is to try to take the top students from a given cohort, let's say. We also benefit from a lot of the expertise of McGill that has been for years and decades recruiting students throughout the world. So they definitely have a really good expertise with dealing with such a difference between high schools throughout the world.
So your teacher mentions personal statements and like individual interviews. How did it go for you? How did you prepare for those two?
Personally, I was prepared for this because the person's statement I have to do many bachelors and other schools, and I applied through Anima, and I had to pass an interview in January. I had a teacher from McGill and another from Centrale Supelec, and I had to prepare a text. And they 20 minutes before, and they asked me some question about the text, and they asked me some normal questions of personal, like
such as, do you have any example that you remember?
Who
Inspires you?
Inspires you, sorry. Yes, or what is your biggest achievement or something like this, yeah.
And if you could give any advice to someone watching who, I know, will apply and will have to go through this interview, what kind of advice could you give to?
I advise to prepare a lot before, because personally it was my first time to do an interview. I have done an interview, and I was really stressed. And I think that if you prepare it before, it will be far more better than not preparing it. And yes, to be honest too, because I was really honest, and I think that this helped me to be in this bachelor. Don't try to be just like perfect. Try to be honest, and even if your answers are not like that good, it's not it's okay.
All right, Claire, maybe you could like complete what just been said, and for some people watching, what exactly are you looking for in your students during those interviews?
We're looking for students who want to be challenged, I think, students who want to have a very, very rigorous training, but at the same time who are looking for more than simply the best engineering course. They're really thinking about the issues that are facing us in the world today, and they want to have the tools in order to respond to that need in the world. So good students, but students with an open outlook towards the rest of the world.
All right, so now you know what you have to do if you want to be successful in your applications. And let's move on with the cliches. The cliches are about preconceptions, the idea that you might have had, I don't know, you might have had before applying, or when it comes to Canada, when it comes to France, when it comes to a Bachelor of Global Engineering. What's the first thing that comes to your mind, Brice?
Yeah, one cliché would be, since we are a bachelor and a curriculum that is one part in France and the other part in Canada, more precisely Montreal, then we only be looking for French-speaking students, and this is not the case at all. The whole curriculum is English-based, and so if you do not speak French at all, this is not an issue. We will be teaching in English for all of the courses. The goal afterwards is, right now we have half of the students that have a double nationality, and in a few years we will likely want to reach 1/3 of students being French, 1/3 being internationals, and 1/3 being Canadian.
All right, and I guess you're from the international side.
Yes, I'm French Lebanese, yes. So yeah.
And so what would be your cliché, Jana?
I thought that because also I'm used to be in a class with a lot of boys, because I have done also computer science, I thought that in this bachelor there will be far more boys than girls, but it's not the case, and I'm quite surprised, sorry, and happy about it.
All right, so you wish there were more, you thought there would be more boys, and now there's more women.
There is, like, it's okay. So we are like 26 girls on 82, I guess. And I think it's quite okay, because I was really used to have we were like 4 girls in a class of 30. So yes, I find it pretty good.
Claire, the cliché that comes to your mind?
Yes, it's perhaps the idea that for students who want to go abroad, leaving home right after their high school studies might be a bit of a challenge. And certainly in Centrale Supelec and at McGill as well, we are there to help students make that change very, very early on. So we have a welcome desk at Centrale Supelec that helps the students to go through all the bureaucratic process, even if they're arriving from abroad. And likewise, we're already in contact with the administration at McGill to prepare for the move to Montreal in 2 years' time. So the whole process is smooth, and there are lots of people on hand to help make that feasible for young 18-year-olds straight out of high school.
All right, so whether you're a boy or a girl, a woman or a man, whether you are an international French student or Canadian students, whether you're afraid to move to Canada or not, this program is made for you. They have the answers. And now it's time to talk about the program. Claire, when it comes to the courses, how do you take the best from Centrale Supelec and McGill University?
The course is really very, very elegant. It's been completely reverse engineered. So the aim was to have these 9 streams of specialization at McGill. And in order to make that feasible, everything has been put into place upstream to make sure that all the students have the full prerequisites that they need to get there. So it means that from the word go, the system is really quite demanding, because the students have this very, very rigorous base in all the scientific disciplines. The whole thing, as I say, has been perfectly designed in order to allow the students to have this breadth of scientific exploration for the first 2 years, and then afterwards to really go much, much further into depth in the specialized stream once they get to McGill. So as I say, it's very well designed for young students today who perhaps don't know exactly what they want to do the second they've finished high school. They have that time to explore the general core topics before moving on to much more specialized program in McGill.
What kind of difference can a student expect when it comes to the teachers from Centrale Supelec and the teachers from McGill? What the difference of pedagogy maybe there could be? Since you're, I would say, a French teacher, French lecturer?
Yeah, definitely. I'm very much a French lecturer in the sense that most of my curriculum has been spent in France. But this is also one of the strengths of the program, which is that we take the best from the French education, I would say, and then the best from the Canadian education, as Claire mentioned. So the French education, I would say, for the first 2 years is really well adapted to young students getting out of high school. And then we are putting them through a rigorous training of basically all about hard sciences. But since it's rigorous and demanding training, we'll also be really looking out for difficulties in the students. We're really trying to listen to if they are facing difficulties, to help them through them. Whereas in McGill, afterwards, they will be much more independent in their choice of studies, in the way they will be able to organize their work, basically. So it's basically how to bring them from being let's say, child in high school to fully grown adults being able to face the world's challenges.
When it comes to the student's life, sorry, Jana, where do you belong to? Do you belong to the McGill network or McGill student life, or do you belong to the Centrale Supelec student life?
I mean, like for now, I feel more integrated in Centrale Supelec because I'm in it, and especially like we can go in the associations. We are currently creating a bachelor student office so that we can feel like more integrated in Centrale Supelec, and we can also be in the other association. For example, I'm in the association of basketball, and I feel that we are quite integrated in Centrale Supelec because like we almost all live in the same campus, so we get along with the other students and we talk with them, and yeah, and for McGill, I know that some teachers from McGill come to for example during the 2 weeks integration, there were some conferences about McGill. They presented to us McGill, and we have some things to do with the McGill on their website. We have to answer things, etc. But for now, I feel more integrated in Centrale. But I know that they are like presenting to us McGill, and I know that we will feel more integrated when we will be there.
Was it important for you to have the ability to first have a common background, I would say, and then the ability to specialize in?
Because I really don't know what I want to do, so I really want to test every subject. If I want to do, I don't know bioengineering or data science, so I really want to test all the fields so that I can specialize myself in the 3rd year, and.
All right. Do you have any partnership with famous companies?
Well, Centrale Supelec has a number of partnerships with famous companies, and already the students of the Global Bachelor are enjoying that contact because, as I said, we were talking about building soft skills and professional skills. The students this year have a 2-week period where they're going to be working with one of our partners, working on programming skills, and so yes, there are lots of contacts between the schools and businesses, and the same on the McGill campus as well.
All right. Well, we've been talking for, let's say, roughly 20 minutes, and sometimes a picture speaks louder than like 1,000 words. Let's move on to Who Am I? So, Who Am I is 3 people, 3 personalities that I'm going to introduce you to, and you will tell me which one, according to you, suits the best the Bachelor. So, I'm going to tell you who they are before, and you will mention basketball, I guess. So you must know him, I guess.
Yes.
It's called Victor Wembanyama. All right, he's like he's 19, I think.
Yeah.
He's the new most famous basketball player. He's 2 meters, 21 centimeters. Yeah. And he's about to play his first basketball match at the NBA. And I think he's like one of your students. He comes from France, and he moves to America, and now he's that person who is like, I don't know, well, maybe you could pick him, I don't know. In the middle, you have ChatGPT. Whenever I come across an engineering program, or I pick ChatGPT because I think it could be like one of your students' creation. It also asks questions about ethics, and it could be for you like, I don't know, the occasion to talk about it. And on the very right, she's called Kathleen Carrico. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's won the Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine in 2023, which is 3 weeks ago, roughly. And she's worked on it's mRNA, RNA messager in French. And so basically she's, I don't know, she made possible the fact that we have the vaccine that we have today. So, and same, she's Hungarian and American, so it will be the cross between Europe and America, the same way the Bachelor is doing. And it feels like it's doing pretty well to those 2 people, so maybe you could do the same to your students. That would be my explanation, my choices, but you might have different explanation. Jana, I will start with you. Who would you pick?
I would definitely pick Wemby.
I guess so. Wemby, all right, that's his middle name.
Yeah, because first I love basketball, and he shows that the work always pays off because he's now in the NBA, and I really want to say that if we are in this Bachelor, it means that we are motivated, and the fact to go from France to Canada doesn't scare yes, it doesn't scare me. So yeah, I can like take an example of 1B and try to work hard so that I can go in Canada and yes, do what I really want to do.
And it pays off.
Yeah.
Please.
So even though I'm a mathematics lecturer, I would definitely take the side of Dr. Carico here.
Oh, right, yes.
Because she's contributed to so much of science, and she's also representing the fact that science takes time from the birth of an idea to how it applies in the real world. And so I hope the students of the Bachelor can learn from her in this aspect.
All right. And Claire, you left with ChatGPT, but if it doesn't inspire you, just don't pick ChatGPT. I wouldn't mind. No, I swear.
No, I'll go along with ChatGPT. I think it's an interesting one as well. A lot of people see ChatGPT as a real threat. It frightens them, and I think that's why it perhaps reflects the Global Bachelor nicely, because these students have to deal with a lot of challenges, a lot of issues in the world that they're going to have to use today's tools to resolve those problems. And yes, to be creative, to do new things, and not to be afraid of change, to embrace that change to some extent.
Right, not being afraid of changes and changes you will have once you've graduated, and that's what we're going to look at in after. So the Bachelor started in September. How can you assure your students that this program will be efficient enough for them to find a job once they've graduated?
Well, obviously, as you say, the program has just started, so it's. Nonetheless, I'm going to say they're not going to have any problem at all moving forward with this, whether they choose to enter into the job market or whether they choose to pursue their studies further. As I said, they're coming out with a degree from 2 top-notch universities. If they choose to pursue their studies, they have an M1. They can choose either to continue at McGill or at Centrale Supelec if their grades are good enough. But I'm going to imagine that for most of them, their grades will be more than sufficient to continue. But even beyond those very traditional paths, I think we're hoping that our students are going to move towards perhaps less traditional continuations of the engineering curriculum, that perhaps they'll choose to move towards architecture or something like that, the fields that are complementary to what they're learning currently.
All right. Did you have any career services for them as well, maybe once?
Oh, yes, definitely. Both at Centrale Supelec and at McGill, the students will be able to enjoy the career services. As I've said before in the program, there are 3 internships that are built into the program. They'll be having courses to help them build strong resumes, to practice for interviews. So I think there are plenty of services that will help them along the way towards that after period.
Jana, you mentioned girls within the group class, and it was very pleasant because, like you said, it was more boys. And how is the atmosphere when it comes to when you have like 3/4 of boys and 1/4 of girls?
For me, the mood of the Bachelor is just amazing. I was scared to have like a competitive spirit between us, but it's not the case at all. We are like always trying to help each other. And if you have a question, don't hesitate. I know that there is a lot of people of my classmates that will answer to my questions, and we always like try to go up together. We don't try like to be the best rank because there is no rank in this Bachelor. So yes, we just try to help together, to be together, to enjoy our time and try to enhance ourselves.
Right. But how, during your classes maybe, or during other teachers' classes, do you take into consideration the impact of the environment, of, I don't know, we talked about like artificial intelligence, but I don't know, anything actually?
So while designing the curriculum, we tried to have in mind like the very challenges they'll have to face afterwards. And so one of the questions maybe could be, so what do you do to face those various challenges? So we chose to have a curriculum which has a strong emphasis on those hard sciences in the beginning, not because they will give you direct solutions to those challenges, because we cannot imagine them today. However, this would train you to think rigorously, to be able to be really at ease with abstraction, for instance, and so immensely improve your problem-solving skills.
Is that why you have philosophy courses? I was surprised to see, like, for a global engineering program, you have philosophy, human sciences. It's not just math and physics, basically, if I had to go with other cliches.
Yeah, definitely. So when I was talking with my colleagues in philosophy, I was really excited about the program. I actually might want to sit in the class next year. So this is really contributes to the idea of we want students that are well-rounded and not just 100% in math or 100% in physics. We want them to have this rigorous reasoning aspect to them, but also be really interested in the ethics that comes behind afterwards. Yeah, definitely.
And one last question for you, Claire. It's a question I always ask any director, and it's probably a question that you might have had during your interview. Why are you a good director for this program, Claire?
Why am I? Because I think I'm passionate about the program. I believe this is a very strong program that provides something not just to our students, but to everyone. But also, I guess, as a director, because I listen to people, I'm in contact with everybody within the program, and my aim is to help work towards making this the most solid program that can possibly exist by listening to all the feedback and using that to improve constantly.
All right, so there was your word, and there was Jana nodding, which was like, it was even better. You know what I mean? It's like I said, a picture speaks more than 1,000 words. And seeing Jana nod, I was like, okay, that's right, that's true. Not that I wasn't believing you, but it's just, no, I know that is very true. All right, thank you. Let's move on to extra time. So extra time, we all have, let's say, roughly 1 minute to conclude, maybe underline something that we've already said and we want to make sure that we highlight it, or maybe mention something that hasn't been said already. I will start with you, Jana. What would be your conclusion?
I really want to point out that the spirit in the class is just amazing. We just are, like as I said, we always try to help each other. We try also to manage, like to organize things ourselves, and we are not only here working, we try also to enjoy time, to do some sports together, to do some activities together. We are really like a family, and I think this is a pillar of this bachelor.
All right, being a family, Brice, your conclusion?
I will very much agree with what Jana said. Personally, I feel blessed to be able to teach in that bachelor. Because sometimes teaching might have no meaning, but here I definitely feel that it has a purpose, and that this bachelor has really in mind the challenges of today.
All right, and since it's part of the family, you'll be one of the parents as well.
I would be, yes.
You would be. Claire, the conclusion.
I think we've talked a lot about the Centrale Supelec campus because that's where we are. But I would also like to highlight the importance of the interactions with McGill, although we only have our first cohort in their first year in Paris-Saclay. We have weekly meetings with the team in Montreal. We have monthly meetings with the administration. This is really a jointly built program, and we work closely with our partner institution, and the students are students of both institutions from the word go. So this is truly an international program, I would say.
And one last question, even if it's not to make sure it's not a cliché. McGill campuses, are they like the American campus?
It's wonderful. It's wonderful, especially being as it has the advantage of being right downtown, so the students will be able to enjoy downtown Montreal from the moment they arrive, yes.
All right, thank you, Claire. Thank you, Jama. Thank you, Wade. Thanks to the three of you for answering all my questions. You've heard them. If you're looking for a big family, I would say, global engineering, ethics, philosophy, whether you're ChatGPT, whether you're a fan of NBA or a new Nobel Prize, it's at the BHC of Global Engineering at Centrale Supelec and McGill University. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon.